Today I'm in Wilbraham, Massachusetts, right by CSX's tracks. The track closest to me is their main track, but you see the ones further? They just added 3 really small sidings. There was always 2 sidings over there for many years, but they were grown in. They haven't been used in such a long time that there was major trees growing up through them. That was about 1 year ago. Since they started working on this, they tore down a fence that was along this hump, and that had a lot of trees growing along it. That was all ripped down. Now this building here used to be the old waste management building. I'm not sure what the train company is going to be using it for, but they just built these 3 new tracks, which are not connected to the main yet. You see the switch, it goes over here. They're going to be putting a new switch in because that track doesn't align with these. There used to be a track running into the building through this closest garage door, but for whatever reason they have since ripped that up. Now I'm going to go see what's down here further. I'm wondering if the track is going to reconnect down there. I think it will. Okay, disregard what I said a minute ago. Right now, at this point, there are 5 sidings along with the main. The one really far over is going down a slope, so they might be putting another one going back into the building. I'm not sure. Before it used to just go like a really steep dip right into the building, but now I think they're going to have a gradual incline going up to that garage door. So they are going to be putting one there. They did rip up the old one. I guess they're going to have a slight incline now. And they ripped down so much woods here. I remember walking through here 1 year ago and many years past. Next to this main, over here where the tracks are, for many, many years that was an Atv Trail with the grown-in tracks. I think all the old ones are abandoned now, but you see how that's just going into the woods? That means they're going to be taking down all those woods up ahead, and who knows how far the siding's going to go. Okay, now at this point they're back down to 1 track over there along the main. If you want to see what this area looked like 3 years ago, I have a video called Abandoned Tractor Trailer. It shows that abandoned trailer, which a train company moved. It was much closer to the tracks before. And you see they ripped down all those trees, and that's where the track ended. They haven't gotten any further, but I assume they're going to tear down all these woods so they can get back, because it would be kind of stupid for them to make a sharp turn to get to the main. If they take down those woods, they'll be able to run trains through the siding pretty quickly. And also, you see there's a major height difference. The one further away is at least 10 feet below this one, so you need a lot, because the train can't go up much of a grade. I just went down to the railroad crossing to get back on the other side of this thing, and I'm at the end of the track where they stopped. And you see they have this thing here to stop a train from moving. So I'm thinking maybe they might install this, and this will just be a dead-end siding. Because they would have an awful lot to fill here, because this is a big dip. And there's some natural sand pits out here. Also, another video I have out there is called Walking Along Train Tracks and Porta Potty Graveyard. That also shows this area before they started any of the work. That's a few years old. You see where all those tractor trailers are parked? That's where the Porta Potty Graveyard was. They recycled them all, so they're all gone. Although if they were just gonna stop it here, why wouldn't they have just made it go straight? What's this curb for? Also, I'm gonna walk back where I came from, and I'm gonna show some of the old rail, which you can see over here all mangled, that they ripped out of the ground. This is where the original track was many, many years ago. You can see that the rail is much smaller because trains back then weren't as heavy. Because you see it's laying on its side, it's only half the height of the other ones, and you can see a bunch of the ties. So this is where the old one was. It was half as far away as the newer one. And I continue walking here in place of the old one. It's a whole bunch of these square blocks of cement. I wonder what those were for back then. Here's a whole bunch of the old tracks that they're probably going to recycle. You can see they just simply broke and cut them all into pieces. I wonder what this I-beam was for, all twisted. That is part of an old telegraph line. Okay, now I'm down inside of that hole where all the sand is. They built up this giant mound for some reason. I wonder if that's bad soil. Maybe they're taking it away with the train, or they always build these barriers along the tracks. And the train company is definitely using the sand from the old sand pit. This is where all the ATV people used to go in with their dirt bikes. You see that pile in the center? That pile was it was at least 5 times as big as what's there now. So I assume they're using it. But all the woods are torn down because there was woods between the two sand pits. You could never see both of them before. Also, there's another steel beam over here. And further up, there's another pile of mangled metal of some sort. That's a whole bunch of old rebarb. This actually looks like part of a vehicle. It is part of a vehicle. I can see the gas cap in the center. But this is where they finished tearing down the woods. This is what there was the entire way. Big trees like this. Now I'm going to re-enter the ATV Trail. So probably next time I come out here, where I'm walking now, probably won't be here. All these pieces of scrap metal, all these concrete blocks, they'll all be gone. Well, years ago, this was a train track. Now, if you go here, that continues on the ATV trail, and you can actually see the ATV tracks right here. So somebody was out here recently with one. This is the last ATV trail nearby. I'm on the top of the sand pit now. You can see how vast it really is. Now if I go up here and look down, you will see the reservoir full of water. That reservoir is being held by the dam by the Ludlow Bridge between Ludlow and Springfield. Now here I go, continuing back into the woods. And that old railway line is here in that flat area where all the tires are. They possibly might be putting it through here again if that siding goes this far. I really don't know. Further up ahead on the trail, there's a blockade of bricks to stop vehicles from coming down here years ago, but it didn't stop the ATVers because off to the right they just made a new trail going up and around it. This makes me think that they won't go that far with the train track because it would take a lot of dirt to fill this in. You see how low I am to the actual main line now? They'd have to fill in an awful lot. I don't believe the tracks were ever down this far. And if you continue walking up here another 5 minutes or so, you'll come across an old pump house where they used to pump water for the steam trains. There's an old foundation, and there's actually a building still left down there with big pipes running up the hill where they used to pump the water. But that's it for today.